Hey everyone, excited to have you guys here today. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different than maybe I've done in the past to give you guys a little bit of thoughts on some of the recent news that's come out regarding the markets. My goal is to really just give you guys this all at once with very little cuts in between so you guys can really just get a feel for me and my thoughts here. So share on the markets today as well as touching on one specific addition to my portfolio recently and just a little bit about that company. It's one that you guys are all very familiar with. They have had absolutely nothing but amazing news. You guys are going to see that's me being very sarcastic. But we'll talk about that here in just a minute. So with that, let's go right into what's going on with the market. Just as a heat map on the market today, the 16th, you guys can see kind of what was up and what was doing well. These semiconductors, you can see overall, did pretty well today. There was a lot of struggle in the market. You can see a big red from Apple here that has been absolutely struggling as of late. Tesla as well. Healthcare has been looking great. I've been keeping my eye on United Health and Humana. Unfortunately, it's looking like United Health, which in my opinion is probably the higher quality of the two, might be running away. I may not have an opportunity to purchase that company at a price that I feel comfortable with, but you're not always going to get them all. So interesting. You can see just a lot of red across the market. Banks, Bank of America specifically down pretty big, especially for a bank, but you guys can kind of see what's going on. Also wanted to touch on when you look at the market overall, just year to date and kind of what things have looked like in this pullback, which overall, especially if we zoom out, really isn't that much of a pullback. Peak to trough, you're looking at not even 5% here. Not even a 5% pullback peak to trough. So it really hasn't been that big, but I think there's been more fear, I guess, than you would expect normally from a small move like this. And I think it has a lot to do with not only, as this article shows, Israel and Iran risks, but it also has to do with rising yields and just kind of a change in tone from a lot of people who were expecting a lot of rate cuts. Remember, guys, just a few weeks ago, it seems like the market was pricing in up to 7 cuts this year. And now things are dwindling down to 2, 1, maybe 1. And even that's kind of getting challenged now. So things kind of are just getting shaken up. People's perspectives on what's going to actually happen. Now, I don't profess to have any idea exactly what's going to be happening. Hopefully you guys have seen that in my past videos, but I want to make it clear I'm not here to make predictions and give you guys this is what is going to happen for sure, bet on this, whatever. That's not really my goal here. My goal here is to identify companies that are going through short-term dislocation to their actual value and picking up those companies at a lower than intrinsic value price, or for companies that are really high quality, maybe even just picking them up at fair value, ideally less so. The company that we're going to be talking about today, it was purchased maybe just at a slight discount, not necessarily at anything crazy below, which some of the other companies that I've done videos on were trading at crazy low multiples compared to what they're actually worth. So that's kind of what's driving the market right now. Just kind of that change in sentiment, and the 10-year treasury here that you guys can see year to date has been climbing, and especially in the past month or so, been climbing quite a bit from about 420 to now. Not sure why it's here when, there we go, there it updates to 467, which is a big deal. 10-year seems to be a serious benchmark for just what a lot of people feel is a gauge on how fearful people are about rate cuts not coming in, or just kind of what people are planning on in general. 10-year is a serious focus of that. The 2-year today, I believe, actually broke through 5%. I don't think it closed above there, but I know it did briefly, was above 5%, which is interesting as things, again, just shift. And we'll see kind of what the year has in store. Generally, election years are positive for the markets, between, up around 12, 13, 14% on average, I believe. Maybe it's closer to 11. But at the peak, we were already up for the year about what you would expect all the way from January to December, and we were only here sitting in April. So I think it's healthy for the market to have a pullback here, just to kind of bring things back. The market had been pushed so high that I think a lot of the people that were really bearish had to flip and decided that because they had missed out so much that now they wanted to FOMO into the market. But that's not what we want to do, just wanting to buy these undervalued companies. So with that, let's go into Boeing. As you guys probably could guess from my sarcastic tone in the beginning, a company that has absolutely not had any good news at all lately. You guys there are just so many negative headlines. What's going on with Boeing and their planes? They managed to get themselves into even bigger trouble. If that loads back up. How to think about their recent safety issues and their CEO stepping down. This is a company that operates as a duopoly with Airbus. They're really the only two companies in the world that are supplier of commercial aircraft to all of the brands that you use supply with, whether you're talking about United, whether you're talking about Southwest, American Airlines, Spirit, whatever you fly, they're going to be the ones that are supplying the planes between Boeing and Airbus. So you've got a company in Boeing that just operates in a duopoly. Like I said, there's not a lot of competition. There's a high barrier to entry just because building one of these planes, they're selling for tens of millions of dollars, but it's taking them months and months to actually put together. It's just really capital intensive before they actually see anything come in, and it's kind of a natural moat in itself. One of the reasons why I decided to start taking a look at Boeing right now was over the past 5 years, as you guys can see, the stock is down over 50% over the past 5 years. If we take a look at their max chart all the way to 2000 on Stock Unlock here, you can see the run that they've had, hitting a peak, hitting a peak of over 400 and now falling down below 200. Gives you an idea. They just have really been beaten up since the time when they had the now I'm going to forget the aftermath of some big devastating crashes at the end of 2019, and currently the CEO that replaced the previous in 2020 there, he's actually stepping down and getting right now, and that is now I'm going to forget his name, Dave Calhoun, who is the current CEO that's going to be getting replaced at the end of 2024. Boeing, as you guys can see, this is their net and gross margin from 2004 until current. And you can see for a long time, things were pretty stable, fluctuating as normal as you'd expect. And then in 2019, when all those crashes and just really negative publicity started, is when they really started to see trouble. And Dave Calhoun, their CEO, really wasn't able to turn the ship around. And in my opinion, probably one of the reasons why they haven't been able to recover is he may have been cutting corners to try and get back to this quicker than just saying, hey, we need to take a year and a half or whatever it is to get the ship righted and just do things the right way. Maybe trying to cut corners, which is why they've had so many safety issues as of late. And I hope in their search that they're able to just bring someone in who has an engineering background. They have sales out for the next several years. They do not need to worry about sales. People have to go to them or Airbus. There's no other options. And if people stop going to Boeing and go to Airbus, then they're going to be pushed out to getting their planes delivered maybe 5 years plus from now. And so once Boeing is really able to get things together, they're going to start having orders and things come in like normal. I have no fears about that whatsoever. Like I said, it's a company that operates with an absolutely gigantic moat just because of the natural problems with trying to get into such a capital-intensive industry. One of the other things that I wanted to just look at was free cash flow, market cap, price to free cash flow here. Scrolling down, you can see Boeing has an average price to free cash flow of about 14. That does take in higher periods, but that's fine. Sitting at a, like I said, price to free cash flow of 14. And right now, if you compare this to their peak free cash flow of around 13 billion with a market cap of only 100 billion right now, they're trading at below 10 times their all-time high free cash flow. And because they're an company that's just not going anywhere, in my mind, it's a great opportunity to buy one with a crazy moat at a reasonable price. In fact, in my opinion, at probably a little bit of a discount to what they're actually worth. And they're going to compound capital over the long run once they find a CEO who is really capable. And that's why I wanted to be a part of this. It's not a ton of work and not a ton of in-depth detail like my previous videos, but I wanted to share with you guys my thoughts here. So going forward, really going to be trying to do a little bit more of this format. You guys will have to let me know if you like it. Honestly, this is probably what I'm going to be taking on going forward. Doing something a little bit more like this. I want you guys to really see what my thought process is here. It's probably not going to be as polished as you're used to, but that's all right. I want to show you guys me, details, and I hope you guys understand everything that I share here is opinion. I am still learning and growing through this process. I already have years of learning, making mistakes, and things like that. And I've come to the conclusion that having a longer term mindset allows you to avoid any of this FOMO and really make more rational decisions. And the more that I learn and study this, the more that I feel like understanding the market and companies that you're investing in is crucial, because you're able to identify companies that are blatantly trading below their intrinsic value. And the only place that you can do that is on the public market. So that's kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing here. And again, let me know you guys' thoughts here. Hopefully this was valuable, and want to share with you guys one of my new positions, Boeing. I just have a starter position there. It's nothing big. I am fully expecting things to go lower, and will happily add as things go down. But with that, guys, we will see you in the next one.